Good morning, you guys. It's day number 63 of my Staybatical, the 100-day journey I'm on, you guys. Seeking to change my body composition, improve my mindset, and just watch what happens. It's been a fun ride so far. 63 days in, still rocking and rolling it. When I started this on September 1st, the temperatures here in South Carolina were something like 93, 95. Some days I'd be out here walking going and now here in the fall, this morning it's 43. I saw later in the week and early next week it's going to dip down into the 30s, so this should be fun. We're going to test how much Jimmy actually likes the cold, which Jimmy does very much like the cold weather. And so come on in, welcome in, thanks for being here. Those of you that watched yesterday, you knew I was having struggles with blisters on my toes causing me pain. So I took the advice several of you offered to put something over them. So I got a couple of Band-Aids over the blisters on both toes, both big toes. We will see if that does the trick. Somebody on YouTube was telling me that they make specific like walkers socks. I had no idea. I didn't know they made socks for walkers, but apparently they're really cushy and thick. My problem is if you start to get a big sock like that, doesn't that affect the size of the shoe? Although I will say these shoes are 14. My foot's not a 14, but the width of my foot requires it to be 14, so I'm not squeezing the living daylights out of it. So maybe it would stop all the friction that would cause the blister. Anyway, we'll see how these Band-Aids go first and go from there. But hello. I want to talk about a really cool topic today. Let's pin it up there for you guys that are watching live. If you're watching on the replay, we're going to be talking about manifesting deep desires within you. And of course, I know when people bring up the word manifesting, there are some people who already prejudge that. Oh, well, I'm not into woo-woo. I'm not into that kind of stuff. Hear me out on this, because it's been so instrumental for me in accomplishing things in my life and getting the desires of my heart. It works, guys. And so let's stick with what I'm doing right now. I'm on a health journey. A lot of you guys are as well. And so if you're going down this path where you're on a journey to getting your health better, how do you know where you're going? Okay, you've got a roadmap of the things that you're doing. Cool. That's all great. You got this whole list of things that you're doing, just as I do. You're executing those things on a daily basis. And then you may be tracking them vis-a-vis your weight, your blood sugar, your ketone levels, whatever. You're tracking how you're doing on your goal. But is that enough? Is that everything? Is that going to get you to where you want to go? And I would argue it would get you pretty far down the road of where you want to go, because just the methodicalness of it does make it happen. But think about those things that you really wish happen. You know what it is. You've got it in your mind, and not even just on a health journey, on anything in life. We all have hopes and dreams in our heart that things will happen. Do you ever put your thoughts on it so strongly, speak it out loud so that it becomes true? Again, I know that's kind of weird for people. What are you talking about, Jimmy? I don't want to say I want to be fit. I want to be strong. I want to be... Why not? Why not? Because if you really want those things, there is power in the spoken word. There is power in verbalizing what you want. And let's go to relationships for a second. Let's imagine you're in a relationship and you never verbalize what it is that you want. Are you going to be happy? Are you going to see the fulfillment of all those desires and dreams of your heart? Are you guys going to have a good relationship if you're not communicating? I would argue no. So the way you communicate is you manifest what you want, you speak it out loud, And then the other person hears it and goes, oh, yeah, I can do that. We can do that together. We can pursue that. And then it happens. And even if you're by yourself, to continue the analogy, speaking it out loud even speaks to your subconscious. Because whether you like it or not, you are listening to yourself all the time. You are. You're always speaking to that inner self. So inner Jimmy, deep within the mind, the body, the soul, inner Jimmy is always hearing all the things I'm saying about myself, about life. It's why I had to shift away from the negative self-talk. I used to be really bad at it. You're so stupid. Why can't you get anything right? And of course, a lot of that's from my trauma in my childhood, because I heard those things verbally spoken to me. So I still hear an audible voice telling me all these things. It's no longer my dad who did the audible voice when I was a teenager. Now it's Jimmy talking to himself like that. And so if you want things to happen in your life, you have to start manifesting them, speaking them out loud, and then putting yourself in a position where it can happen. So on this health journey, I am wanting body composition change, mindset change, and observing what's going to happen. So it's not real hard goals. It's not like I want to lose 50 pounds. I don't have that in the goal. None of those kinds of things that are in a traditional journey. So manifesting for me is just allowing the process of what's happening happen. Now I am manifesting in other parts of my life. In my career, I'm shifting to talking about more mindset stuff. And I am speaking it into existence, that I'm good at that. I'm currently writing a book about it with my friend Brittany. I'm working on all those things, constantly trying to encourage people. Well, these walk and talks is a part of that. Letting me assimilate my thoughts, share ideas with you guys. Not that I no longer am interested in diet, but diet's kind of at this point. I'm ready for something new. And the mindset stuff is right up my alley. And I'm manifesting that, putting it out there. I'm manifesting finding someone special to be in my life, speaking her into existence. I wrote this post last week on social media where I said I'm going to work on me while I'm waiting on you. And I wrote it directly to my future mate and poured my heart out. And that was manifesting that happening in my life as well. So we can all do this. If you get past your perception that it's woo-woo, it's weird, if you get past that and you start seeing it for what it is, it really is just the culmination of everything in your heart, of what you really believe, what you really want and desire. That's all manifesting is. And I don't even believe it's just necessarily the speaking out loud. Yes, that's important. Some of it is just confirming what it is that you desire. I don't think we always desire or know what we desire. We have thinking about what we desire, but we don't know. We have hopes about things we hope happen, dreaming of that. We don't know until you start verbalizing it. So, wherever you are in your journey today, whatever journey you're on, I want you to think about this. Are you manifesting those deep desires within you? Are you speaking them out loud? Are you allowing those things to become a reality in your consciousness so that when the opportunities arise to accomplish those things, to get the things you want, you're ready. You already believe it. You already got past all the I'm not worthy of this. I don't deserve this. There are people in my life right now Oh, thank you, Kira. Thank you for buying a badge. And guys, if you want to support my work while you're on the Instagram Live, there is a little badge thing down there. Buy a badge. Help support the work I'm doing here. So if you want those things to happen, you got to speak them out loud. Like, I'm amazed how many people go into relationships, for example, and they just assume the other person knows what they want and knows what's on their mind. It's like, how can you possibly know if no communication is happening? You got to speak that shit out loud, right? You got to let it be known. Shout it from the mountaintops. Oh, Kira, you bought 3 badges so you could glow again. That's cute. Thank you for that, sweetie. Yeah, I feel like people want things, but they don't want it enough to speak it. Does that make sense? Like, I think people just assume things are just going to happen. And I've told this story before about my sister Beverly. Very sweet girl. She's a public school teacher in Florida. And she's been single her whole life. And I said, Beverly, have you found a boyfriend? Well, here's how she responds. Well, I just believe that he's going to come into my life and all will work out. So then I pry a little deeper into that. So how are you trying to find this mysterious boyfriend who's just going to mysteriously come in your life? And she said, well, he'll just come in. And I'm like, okay, are you going out to places? No. She works in a public school, so unless she's got a single teacher that's a male, although I don't think they fraternize, they let you fraternize amongst teachers. I don't know, but where else? She's like, well, I go to church. You met anybody at church? No, I'm too old. I said, is that it? She's like, yeah, I just come home. I said, what do you expect them to come to your door and go, knock, knock, knock? Are you the girl of my dreams? Now, she needs to do some manifesting along with some putting herself in opportunities where something can happen. She's of the belief that something's just going to happen out of midair, out of just nothing, out of doing nothing. It's kind of ridiculous, right? But how many of us do the same thing in different areas? We just assume things are just going to happen. And we don't manifest it, which she's not either. And we don't put in the work to put ourselves in opportunities to succeed and to get what we need and want. We're not. So Beverly is not alone in that. But it's definitely a good example of there is someone who has deep desires in her heart. She so wants to be with a guy. And yet she's not allowing herself to manifest it, either verbally or positionally in her life. And she's going to die old, wondering, well, I don't know why it never happened for me. I know why, Beverly. It's not a mystery. And look, I'm on that same journey. And I'm manifesting that girl in my mind now. I already see her walking around in my house. We're living life together. It's kind of cool when you start speaking those things out loud and then you actually see it happening in your mind's eye. And I'm putting myself in positions where it's going to happen. Hopefully it will encourage my sister someday. Someday. Fingers crossed on that one. But yes, if you just joined in, you guys, I'm on day number 63 of my stay-batical to 50. 100 days out here doing all the things. Carnivore on the odd days. At least 24 hours of fasting on the even days. Yesterday, on the fasting day, I went 24 and a half hours. And then I had a meal. But the meal was so delicious and fulfilling that I haven't eaten since 1:30 yesterday. So I'm already pretty deep into another fast. I knew that would happen when I started this because satiety is so strong when you eat carnivore that there would be some days I would probably do back-to-back fasting. Now, I probably won't go 24 hours again. I'll probably end it at around 21 hours. So we'll do that. But day 63, still out here doing my morning walk. Much colder morning walks. The way Jimmy likes it. I've got the infrared sauna all fired up, ready to go. Yesterday I got back from my walk. I had the infrared sauna ready to go. It was at a really good temperature. And then a friend of mine needed me. So I dropped everything and talked to her for a little while. And by the time we were off the phone, I was like, well, I'll have to hit the sauna tomorrow. So I did miss it yesterday. But sometimes life requires you to be there for your friends. And I've got really strong friends in my life that I would literally drop everything to do what they need and be there for them. And they've done the same for me. So if you don't have those kind of ride or die friends, please find some. It's indispensable if you ask me. And I'm lucky to have quite a few of those. But day 63, you guys, I'm talking about this topic. It's a little bit off the beaten path of what I've been talking about, but not really. Manifesting deep desires within you. Are you doing that? Do you have these things that you really want, desire, crave, need in your life, and they don't seem to be happening? And it could be a health journey, it could be a relationship, it could be a job, whatever it is. Maybe a dream of your heart that you've always wanted. Are you manifesting that? Are you speaking it out loud? Are you allowing your words to become real by simply speaking them out and then putting in the effort to make them happen? If you're not, I'm encouraging you to do that. And if you are, I want to hear how that's worked for you. Share your story about how manifesting has definitely worked for you. So let me go back to the very top, see what you guys have to say on this one today. Good morning, Debbie. Karen says, way to get after it, Jimmy. Thank you, sweetie. Linda says, good morning. Hello, Linda. Kira, you are definitely glowing, my dear, with the 3 badges. So again, if you guys get something out of these and you're watching live on Instagram, definitely buy a badge and it helps out. Appreciate that. Man, I just got a dirty look from that car when I was passing because he was running up there fast. I waved my hand as if to say, okay, I'm crossing, bro. And he just kind of went. Miss Stacia says, shout, shout, let it all out. Yes. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on. Showing my age there. I'm talking to you. Come on. I hadn't heard that song in years. Thanks for that reminder. Hey guys. Sup. So that's a family. They are out every single day. Right about the same time I'm walking. The one lady, the mom, said she's lost 75 pounds just by adding a walk every day with her kids. So she's doing it for herself. And she's encouraging her kids to get in the physical exercise as well. That's a good mama. And I can only assume she's a single mom because I never see a dad unless the dad's off working. But that's a good mama. Living by example, even though she's not the perfect whatever, doesn't matter. She's manifesting fitness in her kids by doing that. That's pretty cool. I always love seeing them on this trail when I'm out here. Kira says, just wanted to glow. Rock on, Jimmy. Yes, you are glowing. There's a nice little orange and red circle around your picture on my screen. Probably shows up on everybody's screens. Everybody go look at Karacha 13S, and I think you'll see that she's glowing. You can glow too if you get 3 badges. So, Bulletproof Coconut. We must know, seek, and envision what we want. You and people like Tony Robbins and Dr. Joe Dispenza discuss this well. Thank you. Yeah, and by the way, no Go Jimmy today, Bulletproof Coconut. I'm always used to that when you come on. Where's my Go Jimmy? Just kidding. But you're right, Tony Robbins, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Brene Brown. There's lots of these mindset people that they definitely put yourself in the right mode. I would even throw Jordan Peterson into there. Really getting your mindset right. And you're right, you have to know what it is you want. You have to seek after it. You have to envision it, which is part of this manifesting, is that envisioning. I think people just jump into things with no knowledge, no sight of what they're doing, no vision for where they're going, and then they flail and they give up. And they're like, why didn't it work? Well, it didn't work because you didn't work it. It's like my sister all over again. She just expects this man to come swoop her off her feet. I'm like, what, do you expect the UPS driver to come after you get off work? Hey, baby, you're the one I've always wanted. It's not going to work that way. She's got to put in a little bit of effort. And I'm going to step on the Christian toes as well. There are people who do the same thing with Jesus. Well, Jesus will just handle it. Jesus will bring me a husband. Jesus will just make it happen. I just believe. Okay, yeah, Jesus can do that. What are you doing to make that come about? What is your role in helping Jesus out? Right? People don't like to hear that. They have this vision of who Jesus is. Well, he just said, speak and it will happen. Okay. He can definitely do that. But what are you doing to put yourself in the position where that thing that he wants you to have and you want to have and you manifest it to him, what are you doing to pursue that? Like, I think sometimes when we pursue things, we have the knowledge, we have the vision, we have the speaking it out loud of what we want. Sometimes it's just more gratifying when you've had to work a little bit at it rather than it just popping into your life. I can't imagine that my sister Beverly's going to enjoy any man that's just randomly going to enter her life like that. So, good morning. So I love all of that, Bulletproof Coconut. Eating clean keto. I had a picture of a card that I wanted on my refrigerator. I looked at that picture for 1 year every single morning before I started my day, and I manifested having it. Exactly 1 year later, I was driving it. Ooh, I wonder if that'll happen if I put Angelina Jolie on my refrigerator. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I love that. That's beautiful. You had a vision of what you wanted, and you desired it. And look, I don't think we should get all the desires of our heart, but damn it, we should get a bunch of them, especially if we're good people. We put out good vibes out in the world. Aren't you worthy of that? I think so. And I think most people are generally good. Some days I wonder about that one. Are people really generally good anymore? I don't know. Because I see so much negativity, but I still think people are mostly pretty good. And they try to do the right thing and live their lives honestly, earnestly, hardworking, blah, blah, blah. So they should have the desires of their heart. They should be able to stick a picture of a car on their refrigerator and look at it every day and let that come to fruition. I love that. Thank you, Eating Clean Keto. That's a perfect visualization of what I'm talking about here. And I love the other thing you put in there. You started manifesting. Manifesting doesn't mean it's instantly going to happen. And this is where a lot of people get off the rails too. You start manifesting those deep desires within you. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. Well, I spoke it. People do that with prayer all the time too. Well, I prayed about it and it still hasn't happened. Wait is an answer. Wait, or not yet, or soon, child. And no is also an answer. It could be something you're asking for and trying to manifest. It's not in the cards for you. It's not meant to be. But if it's something you deeply desire and you want it to happen, you got to be patient. 1 year for eating clean keto to get her car that she manifested with a picture on her fridge. 1 year. And so it may not happen immediately, but it does happen in time. I'm doing the same thing with a person in my life. I'm desiring her right now. I'm manifesting her. I'm speaking her into existence. And when the time comes, she'll be here. I believe that. I believe that strongly. Maybe she'll come out on this walk with me. She'll have to, because a lot of the manifestation things that I do out here are things in my own life. The things I share with you guys, things in my own life. So I'd be shocked if she didn't show up. You guys will know because I'll be on camera. Oh, who's the girl with you? Oh, that's my new girlfriend. We'll see. Down the road. Angie says, I moved back to the peninsula where I was born after 40 years. Finally left behind an unhealthy and unhappy marriage. Life here is now a joy. Finding me once again. Oh, love all of that, Angie. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but that is a tough road to hoe. But man, oh man, the freedom that comes from being out on the other side of that and now finding yourself. So one of my chapters in my book that I'm writing with Brittany called One Step Deeper Journal, coming out early next year. One of my chapters is very much in line with that, finding yourself. It's about being yourself, and being yourself unapologetically, and allowing yourself to think about all those things that you believe and are about, and asking yourself, am I really believing those things? Do I really believe those things? Am I really about those things? Or are those things simply what other people expect me to be and I just fell into line? So, yeah, guys, if you love mindset stuff, if you like these walk and talks that I do, you're going to want to get that book when it comes out. Again, we're hot and heavy in the manuscript right now, writing it. I just got the first 10 entries of our journal. It's a 40 entry journal, so 40 days of journal. And I just sent the first 10 entries over to my copywriter and editor. And we're going to try to pump that thing out, like I said, early next year. Brittany and I are already talking about maybe having a release party. We'll tell you all those details down the road. But all that to say, right on track, Angie, with what you're doing. Kudos to you. I'm proud of you. I myself have been on similar kind of finding myself journey over the past few years. And it's been amazing. And honestly, I don't think I lost myself. I just allowed myself to be hijacked by other people. I allowed the thoughts of my dad from my childhood trauma to reverberate in my mind. I allowed the people that were around me in my life to shape what I believe and who I am. And all of that was wrong. All of that, I should have never abdicated who I am to those people. And so the last few years of my life have been grabbing back the reins of that and saying, no, damn it, this is my life. This is what I believe. This is who I really am. There's no greater feeling than to know you're being your authentic, true self. It's a great feeling. Can't put it into words. It's so great. There's Bulletproof Coconut. Go, Jimmy, go. You're about 10 minutes late, brother. But I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Keep It Simple Style says, good morning, Jimmy. Keep inspiring. Morning. Thank you. Alice says, I'm watching and listening on my computer. No glowing of Kira shows here. Oh, interesting. On my end, she's glowing like a nuclear bomb. Lighten it up. Kira says, I better get invited to the wedding. Oh, I have a lot of invitations for that one, I'm sure, because I'm manifesting this girl, and I got a lot of people in my life that are wanting this for me. So other people manifesting it for me as well. So it's cool. I like it. I don't know about the marriage thing. We'll see. It would have to be the right person to go down that path again. But guys, if you just joined us, day number 63 of my stay-batical to 50, still on this 100 days. I'm in the second half of it now. We're rocking and rolling down the path on my way to day 100. And really, it's not that far away. It's December the 10th, so it's just over a month away. So I'm loving that. And so still doing all the things, still just as motivated. If you came in late, you might not have heard the update about my blisters on my toes. I did put some Band-Aids over them. I think, Kira, you were the one that suggested that. And they're doing pretty good today. So it's amazing. Just a little bit of padding over those sensitive parts of my toes was all it needed. So, all right, I'm coming up on this halfway point here at Cub Branch Drive. And as soon as I hit that curb, I will flip around, go back the other direction. All right, I'm there, and we're turning around. So, day 63, still doing it. I'm talking about a topic I really want to hear more thoughts from you guys of manifesting deep desires within you. Do you do that? Do you speak out loud those things that you want in life? Can I make the argument for it? If you're not speaking out loud what you want, how do you know you want it? How do you know how serious you are about that being something that you actually want? How can you expect anything good to happen in your life if you're not vocalizing what it is that you desire and you crave and you want? You got to let that shit out. You got to talk it. You got to let everybody know. Now, don't be a weirdo and do it in the middle of the mall. No, don't do that. But I do think we need to be more verbal. And sometimes the verbal psychologically motivates you. You got to think of it in that way as well. What is motivating you to keep going? What's challenging you in your life? Is there anything that you can manifest to give you that sense of accomplishment as well? Those are all the things that I think about. Good morning. So, talk to me, guys. I just turned the halfway point of this walk, and I got no comments to bounce off of. So, give me some thoughts. Or, as always, if you have general questions you want to ask about the stay-batical, I'm always game for that. I will remind you that if you like these walk and talks, I plan on possibly continuing them even after the stay-batical is over. I have enjoyed this time with you guys. So many of you watch it live. Many of you watch it on the replay, IGTV, YouTube, Facebook. You can find it just looking up hashtag stay-batical to 50. You can see all the past episodes. And then, of course, at my website, stay-batical to 50 is at livinlavitalowcarb.com/stay-batical. You can see all the posts there as well. So go check that out if you've missed anything. Whew. Well, you've gone completely silent on me. So I guess you're done. Are you guys done? Okay, Del Norte has a comment. Keep the comments coming, guys. I still got a good 25, 30 minutes left. If you don't want this to end, give me things to talk about. Del Norte says, visualization is important. Oh, it's so important. How do you know where you're going if you can't envision where it is you're going? Look, I visualized being a successful author long before I wrote my first book. I visualized. And it doesn't mean the first book I wrote was great. It was not. It doesn't mean the second book I wrote was great. It was better, but it was not. Sometimes that visualization means you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to be clunky, and that's okay. Very rarely is someone pursuing a relationship, they meet one person, and then that's the person they end up with. Sometimes it works like that, but I'd say the vast majority of the time is you try somebody, okay, that's not the one. You try somebody else, nope, that's not the one. And you keep going down the line until one day you meet that special someone. And then you hook up with them. And you become each other's person. That's the way this visualization thing works. It doesn't mean I visualize it and it needs to be exactly here tomorrow and exactly the way I want it. Life don't work that way. But you can't even get to that point if you're not visualizing it. So thank you, Del Norte. You're right. So very important. Bulletproof coconut. Some people choose to wait for miracles to happen. Oh, yes. A lot of people do that. And I'm going to call out my Christian friends. They do that. Jesus will just take care of it. Okay. Jesus needs you to do your part, though. It ain't just going to happen. Can it just happen? Yes, it sure can. But Jesus isn't a magician. He's not grant you wish. He's not a genie. Grant you wish, grant you wish, grant you wish. That's the way people look at Jesus. He's going to grant all your wishes. You don't have to put in any effort. You know what? That's like a spoiled child. If a child grows up in a household where they get everything they want. Mommy, I want, and mommy provides. Mommy, I want, mommy provides. That's replicated over and over and over again. At some point, what changes mentally in that kid? The kid comes to expect. The kid becomes very greedy and just says, well, whatever I want, I've gotten, so I must be God. And so things start getting more absurd and more ridiculous. And then when they get any pushback, they pitch a fit. We do the same thing. We're waiting on the miracles to happen. And if they do happen, we don't appreciate them near to the level of, okay, here's this miracle, but the next 20 you won't get. The next 20 things that you're hoping you won't get. But then here's this one. And that one is glorious. But people think that's supposed to happen all the time in every part of their life. And I would argue you would not appreciate it. You would not see it for the miracle that it is. Miracles can only happen because a whole lot of not miracles happen. A whole lot of mundaneness. A whole lot of slam doors in your face. A whole lot of rejection on so many levels. All those things have to happen in order for a miracle It's the only thing I hate about this path is having to fight this traffic. I'm a pedestrian. I have a right to be out here just as much as anybody else. In reality, we need to create the miracles and seek after them. That's if we truly want them. I love that. Bulletproof coconut. And you're so right. How bad do you want whatever it is that you're trying to manifest? Because I would argue, if it's not worth speaking out loud and not worth manifesting into existence, that it's not truly something that's a desire in your heart. It's obvious. It's obvious. If you want something bad enough, it will consume your every thought. It will be a part of every pursuit in your life. And you'll just make it happen. Sooner than later. Linda says, these walk and talks honestly have me jumping out of bed in the morning. Woo-hoo! Next week we'll be back to 5 a.m. for you. Oh, wow. So you're in Central Time Zone or Mountain Time Zone, 5 a.m. What time zone are you in? But yes, Sunday is the time change. So I get up with the sun. So if the sun is up at 6:45, which it will be on Sunday, 6:45, 6:50, something like that, I will likely be out here at that time. I suppose I could wait an hour later, but I do like this time of day as the sun's coming up rather than already being up. Although, depending on the temperature, it might be smart to do it a little later. We will evaluate that as the temps get a little cooler. But I do love the cold. And yes, I got icicles hanging off my ears still. Love it, love it. Doodle wants to know what kind of infrared sauna. So, it's one I bought from Costco. But there are a lot of good ones. Sauna Space, I've seen them at some of the biohacking conferences I've been to. They're a really good one. They not only have infrared technology, but they also have EMF blocking. So the electromagnetic frequencies, which can help with some of the craziness being exposed to all these EMFs. It's amazing how you feel that when the EMFs get calmed, being in an EMF blocking tent, which then has infrared sauna heat. Oh, it's awesome. Let me see, are there other, yeah, there's, what's that other one? Sunlighten, I think is the other name brand that I see a lot of people in the space talking about. So yeah, there's some good name brands. They a little pricey. My Costco one, I got it 4 or 5 years ago. I forget exactly when I got it, but I got it from Costco when they were having like a holiday sale. I think I got it for $1,300, and it's a nice one, pretty big, and like I said, been durable. I use it all the time. So good investment for me. But yeah, if I had to buy one straight up now, I would probably do the Sauna Space. But like I said, it's not cheap, so be prepared for thousands of dollars. Kira says, I used to write down my goals, and that seemed to make them come true. Yes. If you write down what you want, you see it. You start pursuing it, even subconsciously. When you see it written out like that, kind of like what was said earlier about the car on the refrigerator. When you see it every day and you envision it, how can it not come to pass? How could you not manifest that? So I love that, Kira. I hope you still do that. Write down your goals, your hopes, your dreams. It's a good practice. especially with what we're talking about here today. You can't manifest what you don't see. And the only way you see is to hear it, read it, and then live it. All of that makes things come to pass. Angie says, I think starting a habit and adding good habits is key, and then you embed them. Look, that's what this sabbatical to 50 has been all about. I haven't gotten to day 63 without this being a pretty big part of my life. It has become a humongous part of my life. Day 63, I'm exactly 321 days to build a habit. 3 times today. So all these things I'm doing are a major habit for me now. And it's a routine. And I do seek to add in different things. I will be doing that at the end of this journey. Keep that momentum going. It's what needs to happen. So I love that, Angie. Thank you for that. Bulletproof Coconut. Even Jesus wants us to seek out what we want. Joel Osteen has discussed this many times. We got to pursue it. Yeah. Jesus is not a genie in a bottle granting you the wishes of your heart. I will contend that you will appreciate something you've had to put a little bit of sweat equity and effort and mental energy into. You'll appreciate it so much more than if it was just handed to you. Look, I wrote 3 books before I had a best-selling book. And how easy would it have been for me after the first book? And it did okay, but I didn't really have any expectations for it. It was my very first book. Okay, no big deal. Second book, I had expectations for, and it did pretty good, but still not mind-blowing. The next book after that was my first book with a major publisher, Keto Clarity, and it did decently well, but again, not blow your head off, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever done in my life. And then Keto Clarity came around, and that book changed my life. Having that book get out there as the very first book in keto, and for it to be received as well as it was, and for people to say that it inspired them to go keto, it inspired them to learn more, and then those people who read my book then went on to be their own keto advocates and keto influencers and writing their own books and starting their own podcasts. It took a little bit. It didn't happen right away. And I could have given up thinking, okay, well, I tried to manifest that I'm going to be good at writing books. And I guess it didn't work out. After 1 or 2 books, I could have said that and then stopped. Look at what I would have robbed myself of. Look at what I would have robbed the world of. And then after that, I wrote 2 more international best-selling books out there. And so you have to stick with it. And look, I don't even think I've done the best work in my career yet. And I've had some major success and very grateful for all that I have been able to do. But I think the best is still yet to come. I'm just getting started. I got too much to share. Too much that has me passionate. And let's talk about passion within this manifestation for a moment. If you're trying to manifest something, but you're not really all in on it, with every desire of your heart, everything within you wanting it, if you don't have passion for whatever it is you're trying to manifest, how do you expect to manifest it? You have to have passion, deep desire, wanting it so bad you will do what it takes to get there. And yes, the effort helps, and the manifesting helps, but all of it together makes it a reality. I'm just convinced of that. I've seen it for myself, you guys, since I've started implementing this, manifesting the desires of your heart. Since I've been doing this, I have seen things happen time and time and time again. It just works. It does. And the sooner you can get on that, the sooner you can start seeing things happen for you. Good morning, ladies. Angie says, got to do the work, then experience failure, pick yourself up, do the work again. Yes. And I would even say failure isn't always failure. Failure is just another opportunity to say, okay, that wasn't the right answer. Let's try this one. So I think failure gets a lot of perceived negativity about it. And I want to redefine what failure is. Failure is not this dastardly thing to be avoided at all costs. Failure is the stepping stone to your eventual success. So each time you fail, so-called fail, think of it as you just haven't found success yet. And so that's the way I look at things. It's the way I wrap my head around when things don't go right. Fail. All right. I'm one step closer to my eventual success. And I'm going to get there. And if it took that failure and another failure and another failure to create the steps so I could get to where I want to be, all those failures will have been worth it. Seriously. That's the way I look at things. Gives a new perspective on failure, doesn't it? When you think of it in that way. How was your Halloween? What have you dressed up as in the past? I didn't really do anything for Halloween. It was just another day for me. I watched football. That's what I did. So, and my Cowboys, they won. So, very happy. I've been a ghost. I've been all kinds of things, but not since I was a kid. I don't really dress up as an adult. Not that I have an aversion to it. My friend Brittany had a Halloween party a couple of weeks ago, and I got invited late, so I didn't have a costume. I said, I will come as old white guy. I got that one nailed. I've always wanted to go as Mike Myers. Had the little Halloween mask on and have a little MP3 player with a speaker on it around my neck that has that and then just kind of do those movements of scary looking. Yeah, I saw an Uber driver who is on YouTube. He's always videoing because he's got weird customers that he likes to show on video. So anyway, for Halloween, he put on the Mike Myers mask, and then he had the camera positioned so you could see him, but then you could see the car next to him that he pulls up to at an intersection. And of course, as soon as they get a glimpse of him with the mask on, he's staring straight ahead, and then suddenly, kling, looks over and they jump. It was hilarious. So I would probably do something like that. But not a big Halloween person. And yes, I'm a party pooper. I turn off my light. I don't give out candy. Well, partly because my neighborhood doesn't have a lot of kids, and the church down the street does this really big trunk or treat. They probably see 10,000 people come through at the trunk or treat. So, yeah, no need for me to do all that. I like other holidays a lot better. So. My brother Nathan, he was born on October 31st, so I did wish Nathan a happy birthday. Kira says, I'm in uncharted territory. What I have achieved on my health journey, I could never even imagine it was going to happen. It made me rethink that my written word is limiting me. I'm going for the sky is now my motto. Yes. That's so true. The things we want to manifest, sometimes we think, oh, if I get that, that's what I want. And then we get well beyond what we manifested, that's a bonus, you guys. Like, I'm not going to lie. When Keto Clarity came out, I thought it would do pretty well. I had no idea it was going to become a juggernaut. And same with the Complete Guide to Fasting. That book only happened because Dr. Fung and I shared a stage in South Africa in 2015. And I went up to him and I said, hey, is there a book on extended fasting? And he said, no. And I said, would you like to write one that talks about all the different kinds of fasting? And so he agreed. And now that book, with the keto trend kind of falling off a cliff in the publishing world, that fasting book is kind of what's still making me money. And so it's been a blessing to be able to have all of that sky's the limit mentality about things. So I agree with you. I think we can manifest certain things and they only get you just so far because it's limiting. You don't know what you're capable of. I never would have imagined in the book realm that I would have had books like Keto Clarity and the Complete Guide to Fasting. Those shocked me and still do. Grateful. But it also now has me, okay, that happened. What else can happen? You know, it kind of, once you see that miracle happen and the well beyond what you ever thought you could do manifesting happen, it makes you aim a little higher. Not in an expectant way. I don't just expect any book I write to become this huge seller, but because it's happened before, it motivates me to think it could happen again. Whereas before anything like that happened, I never would have imagined international best-selling author. Especially in the 8th grade, I think I've told this story before, where I had a teacher, an English teacher, flat out tell me, you're never going to amount to anything in English. Don't even try. Never mind, I had won the poetry writing contest in the whole school and gotten all A's in her class. She said I needed to go to, and this was advanced English in the 8th grade, I needed to go to remedial English in the 9th grade. I think she just didn't like me. Maybe I reminded her of a ex-husband or something. Who knows? But I think I turned out all right in the written word. Doodles wants to know, do you take any supplements? So, as a prophylactic for the Black Plague that's out there right now, that everybody wants you to get the hokey pokey for, I have been taking very high dose vitamin D3 K2. I don't do it every day now, but when I first started in March last year, I was 25K to get it in my system. I think that's an essential one for your immune system to keep the body tip top. And I've yet to get the Black Plague yet. I know I'll eventually get it, but even when I do, I'll be in a good place physically because my body is in a good place to fight off. So, and plus all the things I'm doing in the sabbatical are helping. As far as other supplements per se, I mean, I'll do some targeted ones here and there. I've got some brain health ones that I'll take on occasion. I have medicinal plant tinctures that I take for various things, inflammation lowering and things like that. I don't do the whole pill popping thing. A lot of those pills, especially if you buy them in like a traditional vitamin store, they're just going to sit in your stomach and they never get broken down and you never get to use them. So I'm more of a try to get your nutrition in your food to get all the things that you need, and then where that falls short, then supplement. So you can throw in my grass-fed beef into there, my eggs from my backyard chickens into there. Those are supplements to me. What I'm doing right now, this exercise and fresh air and cold temps, that's a supplement to me. So I know what you're asking, but I feel like we need to redefine what a supplement is. Supplement isn't a pill. Supplement is anything you're doing to better yourself. And all the things that I feel like I'm doing right now, all the things are a supplement to my healthy lifestyle. But thank you for that question. Del Norte says that teacher should have been fired. Well, she was about 10 years older than God when I was in the 8th grade. Yeah, she had a vendetta against me. By the way, I won that poetry contest in her class. I was so bored because she was a very boring old hag of a teacher. I don't even remember her name now, but I can see her face in my mind's eye. Just that whole glasses, the shaky head. I was like, all right, lady, can you be any more curmudgeon than you already are? Anyway, she was boring one day, and I heard about the poetry contest over the intercom. Hey, students, you want a chance to win? Blah, blah, blah. Enter our poetry contest. Deadline is this Friday. Okay. So right there, I pulled out a pencil and a sheet of paper, and I just started writing. I've always been the creative type that you give me an assignment, I can just start writing and get down on paper whatever it is that is the assignment, and I do it. I don't think about it, I just do it. And look, I'm still that way today. Everything I do social media wise, even this walk and talk, I don't plan anything to talk other than kind of the main topic. I get on here and I spitball whatever's in my head. I hate those people when I'm going to interview them for my podcast. What are you going to ask? I'm like, heck if I know. Oh, okay, so we're going to wing it. No, we're not going to wing it. Jimmy has lots of knowledge. I will ask pertinent questions based on what I hear you say. That's not winging it. I don't like that phrase. Just gonna wing it. No, winging it means you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And you're just doing a circular conversation into nothingness. That's not what I do. If you watch my podcast interviews, you know my style. Yes, I have conversations, but I'm always listening and always bouncing off of whatever it is they're saying. That's how I roll. So yes, guys, thank you for being here today. Day 63 of my sabbatical to 50. Still out here trucking. Still out here doing all the things. And loving it. My blisters on my toes. Starting to feel them a little more now, so it got me through most of the walk. So that's good. Bulletproof coconut, that's funny about winging it. Yeah, I hate that phrase. Well, I guess you're not going to prepare. You're just going to wing it. I'm like, screw you. I've been interviewing people for 15 plus years. I think I know how to do the craft now. I don't need to prepare questions. And look, if you're a podcaster and you prepare questions, good on you. I did the same thing in the first 4 or 5 years of podcasting. But when you do this after a while, you so live and breathe it, you don't gotta prepare. And I even do the same thing when I'm the guest on other people's shows, which I have been quite a bit lately. Been on a lot of people's podcasts lately. They're like, well, here's what we're going to talk about. I'm like, I don't want to know what you're going to talk about. Just start the show. Well, don't you want? No, I sure don't. And it shocks a lot of them because I think people feel like that you need that crutch. And quite frankly, a lot of guests on my show, they do want to know what we're talking about. So I always ask a pertinent question to them before we get on the air. I say, okay, what is it that you have a very passionate desire in your heart to talk about right now? What are those things that have you most jazzed in the work you're doing? And then when they share those things, that's what they're passionate about. That's what they will be very verbose about. And then when I hear them and their excitement in their voice of what they share, then I can interject things that I know and have experience in, and we have a nice conversation. That's how I do my podcasts. I have been on many podcasts where I'm the guest, and you can tell they have a list of questions they've written out. And I've told them something, and I'll do this by design, by the way. I've told them something a little off the beaten path of what they asked, just to see if I could get them to follow up with that. Very few take the bait and go, wow, that's interesting, tell me more. They just go right to their next question. So I'm not a fan of the written out interview. You miss so many opportunities to have quality content come out. That's a pro tip for you podcasters and podcast wannabes. Don't get so rigid in the questions you want to ask that you neglect that human being sitting in front of you for the interview. They probably have a lot more interesting information to share than whatever questions you came up with. That's why my podcasts are all spontaneous seeming, because they are. But I'm prepared. Let's be clear. I'm very prepared. I don't chump change my interviews. And even if it's a topic I'm not that interested in, I will feign interest in it. Morning. I will feign interest in it. I will dig deep into my audience and thinking about them. Would this be interesting to them? And I'll have an intelligent conversation with people. I think that's why people appreciate my shows, because I do that. So, all right, guys, it is day 63 of my stay sabbatical to 50. Still chugging along. 100 days is just down the road. It's not that far now. I'm almost there. December 10th will be here before you know it. And I'm glad I started this journey. I'm glad I realized the time was right for a physical journey, even a little bit of mental journey. This process, it's been great. I've enjoyed it. Angie says, that's one reason why your live walk and talks are so compelling. Thank you. I try to share good information. I try not to repeat myself, by the way, because I know a lot of people, they do this walking and talking on Instagram, and you've seen one of their lives, you've seen them all, and it's like, ugh. Say something different. Now, yeah, there's going to be overlap, and there will be some common themes from time to time, but yeah, I try not to repeat in these videos, because you're sitting here and watching an hour-long video, either live or on replay. You don't want to hear the same things over and over and over again, unless it's pertinent, and I want you to remember it. Then I'll repeat, or I'll say something like, I know I've addressed this before, but here it is again. It means that's an important concept I want you to remember. So thank you for that, Angie. Dale says, you've come this far, you will complete it. Oh yeah. Thank you, Dale. Good job. I will complete it. The question becomes, then what? Day 101, then what? I want to keep the momentum going. And so, sorry, that car was just staying there. I think they didn't know if I was crossing the street or if I was turning. And they had tinted windows, so I couldn't see them to let them know I'm going down this road. But I'm going to keep the momentum going at the end of the 100 days. Why wouldn't I? At this point, I've seen such great results. Why wouldn't I? Makes total sense, right? All right, guys, let me get out of here for now. Day 63, stay sabbatical to 50. Hop on over to my website, livinlavitalowcarb.com/stay-sabbatical. See all the past videos and everything I've done with this. Or if you're on Instagram for the IGTV, on YouTube, or on Facebook, if you're watching this on the replay, put in hashtag stay-sabbatical to 50, and you'll find all the videos that way. Alyssa says, good morning. Hello, Alyssa. Proud of you. Looking forward to seeing what you plan post 100 days. Oh, girl. I have so many ideas. A lot of it's going to just continue on with what I'm doing now, because I do feel good doing these things. But I also want to up my game. Probably going to add in strength training. I'm really close getting my lower part of my body solvent enough that I can start doing like some heavy lifting. I want to do that with the low body. But my ankles have been giving me hell, and the blisters on my toe. You guys know, if you've been following, you know all this stuff I've been through. It's been a comedy of errors with all the little nicks Jimmy has dealt with. But you knock me down, but you won't knock me out. So yeah, that and just upping the game of all the things I'm doing, maybe doing them longer and doing them more. But all the things I've been doing, Alyssa, have been phenomenal. And yeah, it's pretty intense for 100 days, all the things I've been doing. And I'm still standing. I'm still alive. So I guess whatever it is I'm doing, it's working. But thank you. I will definitely keep you abreast of what I'm doing after the 100 days. But thanks for being here today, you guys. I got an infrared sauna that has my name written all over it. 145 degrees, I think is what it says. So I will see you guys again soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys.